Cheers, Muses. I'm Erica Papillon-Posey, and welcome to a travel edition of Suits Souls by EPP, where under normal circumstances, I inspire you toward your own style muse with timeless, classic, prim looks from my boudoir. But today we're going to be talking about our upcoming travel tour to Firenze, to Tuscany. That is right. I'm so excited about this tour because I want you all to love Italy, and more specifically, the Florence region as much as I do. Florence is such a metropolitan, walkable city. It is very sophisticated and lively and upscale, as is many areas of Italy, but particularly the Florence area. It's like anything north of Rome. You're moving into more of the highfalutin, shall we say, more of the sophisticated, more of the cultured areas, or so it's believed, so it's thought. I think that many people sleep on the south of Italy. I know I have a tendency to, though I have friends that are from the island of Sicily, and don't make the mistake of referring to Sicilians as Italians. There is a huge difference. But for the sake of this video and our travel excursion, we are going to be talking about the northern part of Italy, primarily the Tuscan region where Florence, Italy resides. And I cannot wait to go through some of the itinerary with you that we are looking to embark upon for this tour that is slated for June 9 through the 15th, 2025. Now, forgive me for referencing my itinerary here. You can find all of the documents that I am looking at and that I will be referencing on my website, epapillonposey.com. You go to the menu area and I'm putting the link on the screen, but you can also find the link in the description. You will also be able to click this QR code on the screen from your phone and it will take you directly to the area where you can make your deposit. You can pay your package rate in full, or you can view the itinerary before deciding if indeed you are going to come on this once in a lifetime singular tour experience with us. Now, yes, everybody goes on tours, right? Everybody does like this almost cookie cutter version of tours where you see the traditional typical sites. And that's basically what you do. You know, there aren't any, parts of the tour or events associated with the tour that really, as I said, are singular and special and really stand out and will give you a lifetime experience in addition to the traditional cultural sites of interest. But I just want to read to you the opening words, the opening paragraph that really does introduce you to our tour as soon as my little man stops barking in the background. So if I stop for a moment, it's because you hear him. Pomeranians, they're so extra, right? Just bougie, just high maintenance. Anywho, the Five Senses of Florence. That is the name of our tour, the Five Senses of Florence. Why did we name it so? This tour will be a sensational, exclusive, specially curated tour of Florence, Italy, home of the high Renaissance arts, birthplace of the piano, gelato, Ferragamo, Gucci, and the mecca of Italian style, sophistication, music, and Florentine cuisine, all converging in one area for us. This trip is going to be 7 days, 7 nights, thoughtfully created to titillate your senses with an itinerary of touch, taste, sights, sounds, and smells of the world-renowned Tuscan region. So, benvenuto, welcome, welcome, welcome. We invite you to an immersive, singular experience that is Florence, Italy. Trust us, you've never had a personalized travel experience like this in your life. It will be, I promise you, one to remember. As someone who has traveled throughout the regions, various regions of Italy for the past 20 plus years, I can tell you that I am intimately familiar with many of the regions, many of the cultural offerings and landmarks and sites of interest. You name it, I know it. The food, spectacular, but even more importantly, the people. I think one of the reasons that Italy is such an endeared place to me is because of how I have been received and welcomed every time that I have landed on her shores. And I say her because Italy, actually pronounced Italia, anything ending in A is feminine. And yes, Italia is a female. Of course she is, right? So in the Italian language, anything ending in O is masculine and anything ending in A is female. That's right. You know me, I love history and I love teaching, which is exactly what we're going to do on this tour. Again, we're going to expose you to all of the senses that you're wanting to get from a European travel tour experience. So starting with our first day. Now, before we get to the first day, I have to share with you the name of our group and why I named it as such. So the name of the tour group is Sorelle, Suits and Souls. Sorelle, Suits and Souls. Sorelle means sisters. And that is exactly how I have come to feel about each and every one of you who joins me week in and week out on my channel, Suits Souls by EPP. You've joined me, you've commented, you've said what you like. By and large, I think 99.9% of your comments have always been encouraging and positive, and I want to return the favor to you by taking you to a place that I so love, seeing this area through renewed, fresh eyes with my sisters, sorelle, right? Oh, yes. And we have a theme of signature colors. And I'll tell you why. So our signature colors, of course, are going to be comprised of black and silver, or black and gray, if you will, the colors of my channel, but also violet. Why violet? Because violet is one of the colors of Firenze. It is one of the traditional, signature colors of the region, and more specifically of Florence. So again, our travel tour colors will be black, silver, and violet. Wow! There'll be significance and there'll be little hints of thoughtfulness that we've woven into every part of this tour, just like that. So starting from day one with my partners and when you land on the ground, we will have tour buses, and I don't mean like buses. They're going to be sprinters, Mercedes-Benz sprinters that are going to pick everyone up from your respective locations. Now, I have to tell you, I've spoken to a few of you on an individual basis to let you know that one of the surefire things that you want to do when arriving in Florence is to fly into Rome and then take the train from Rome to Florence. And we can speak about that more specifically and how you should go about doing that. But it's what I do every time. I never fly into Florence. I always fly into Rome and then take the train north to Florence. It is the most economical way to do it and is the most scenic way to do it and to travel. Trust me, seeing the countryside, the Tuscan countryside by train is a wonderful, just memorable experience. And who knows, I'm probably going to end up on the same train as many of you. Maybe not, because I think that I'll be arriving a few days prior so that I can make sure that all of the I's are dotted and the T's are crossed for us, right? But the first day we are having, once you get in, you get settled, you into your 5-star hotel. That's right. Nothing but the best for my tour group. Your 5-star hotel, you get there, you get settled in after being collected from either at the airport, but preferably from the train. And the train is in the heart of the city. So you literally can walk everywhere once you get into the heart of the city. When I say it is the most walkable metropolitan city that you could ever be in, it truly is. So the moment that you get off of the train, primarily, you're in the heart of the city that is Florence. So once you get to your hotel, you get settled, you get maybe a little shut-eye in. We are going to have an evening celebratory dinner, an evening meet and greet dinner at an incredible location. All of these locations were specially scouted for you all so that you can have the top, most heightened experience possible. And we have all kinds of sweet, wonderful, significant, thoughtful gifts that we've put together for you, swag bags, if you will, at that dinner. And just a getting to know you location. We're going to be dressing to the nines for our initial night as we get to know each other more intimately and just have a wonderful, wonderful experience with meeting one another well into the Tuscan night. On the second day, so that was Monday. Monday is lunedì, right? The moon. And Tuesday, martedì, we are going to have a wonderful excursion at the Uffizi Gallery. The Uffizi Gallery has got to be one of the most important, one of the most significant museums in the area that houses all sorts of works from the Renaissance period, the High Renaissance period, and more about the Uffizi Gallery coming up in subsequent episodes as we get closer and closer to this travel event. But first up, Tuesday morning, martedì morning, is the Uffizi Gallery. And then we are going to go to the silk factory. We are having a special guided tour of a silk factory. Silk is really important in Florence and by extension, Italy, almost as important as leather. For which we are having another special guided tour of the leather factory. Both of these factories, the silk and the pelle leather factory, is in the heart of Florence. All walkable, all within a stone's throw, really, of your hotel experience, right? And then that evening, Tuesday evening, we have scheduled for you, arranged for you, a classical operatic concert with some special guests. Starting about 8 p.m. So that's going to be a wonderful experience at Santa Stefano Church, this beautiful church that also happens to be, I think that exhibition is going to be going on at the same time. But the last time that I was there in June, there was a Van Gogh, an incredible Van Gogh experience going on in that church. But it is also where we are planning for you an incredible evening of classical and operatic music at 8 p.m. And then on Wednesday, which is mercoledì, Wednesday, the 11th, we are going to start that morning by visiting a UNESCO World Heritage Site, Siena. Siena is, I've sung in Siena many times. It is an incredible place. Siena hosts the Palio. It is a horse race that is thrown every year and put together by all of the various neighborhoods in Siena. There's also an incredible cathedral that we're going to have a guided walking tour of in Siena. Again, it's a World UNESCO Heritage Site. In Siena, we're going to have lunch there as well, and then go to a place called the Montalcino Winery, where you're going to do a wine and an olive oil tasting. That's going to be a full jam-packed day, but I promise you it's going to be a day to remember. And then we move on to Giovedì. Giovedì is Thursday, okay? And let's see, on Thursday, we are going to give you a meditative, refresh, I should say, to go into the next part of the tour with 2 yoga classes. And I have a special guest instructor, yoga instructor. I usually take hot yoga from this person. She's incredible. I've come to really have an affinity for her. The way she teaches really speaks to my soul. She is a former, I think, elementary school teacher she was. So it really does come across in the way that she instructs yoga. She, again, is typically a hot yoga instructor, but the location is everything where we're going to be having these 2 yoga classes. So we're going to have like a rest and relaxation class with kind of like a guided meditation, and then a yoga flow class that is a little bit more advanced for those of you who are used to yoga and have taken yoga before. So yes, those 2 yoga classes, but again, the location is going to be the pièce de résistance. I should not say that because that's French and we're going to be in Italy. So it's going to be super, all right? Super. Fantastico. But that place, that location, the church that we're going to be meeting in is a former hospital of the Knights Templar from the 14th century. You heard me right. A former hospital of the Knights Templar from the 14th century is where we are going to be having our yoga classes. Get with it, right? And that's not even the evening. In the evening, or the afternoon, I should say, because we're going to give you your evening free. But the afternoon, we're going to do a big tour of Il Duomo, the tallest, largest church in Florence, as well as a tour of the Brunelleschi cupola that is associated with. So there's an entire corridor where the works of like Michelangelo are housed that sit in this, the corridor of the church Il Duomo, the actual cathedral. And then the baptistry sits right in front. And then the tower and the cupola are right next to the church. Just brilliant. But Brunelleschi, the artist that designed the cupola, you can actually climb to the top of the cupola and look down into the church. It is magnificent. And there's so much rich, incredible history associated with this church. And just from the amount of time that it took to complete it is nothing short of awesome, just awesome. And the circumstances under which it was constructed. So yes, that is on Thursday. It's just Thursday and we still have 3 days to go. Friday the 13th. Oh my God, I'm just realizing it's Friday the 13th. I'm actually recording this on the 13th of August, and happy Left-Handers Day. So to all my lefties out there, because I am a lefty. And yes, we are the only ones in our right mind. But yes, happy Left-Handers Day to those of you that are watching that is of the left-handed ilk, like myself, right? But yes, Friday the 13th. We have a morning of Ferragamo, of Gucci. Again, as I said in the introduction, Ferragamo and Gucci were first founded in Florence, Italy. And we have tours, guided tours of both of those exhibits starting at 10 a.m. on Friday the 13th. Now, Friday the 13th is not unlucky for the reasons that you might think. And I think I'll save it for a later date, but a little history about Friday the 13th that will make you not look at Friday the 13th the same from this moment forward. But there are reasons behind it. And again, not what you might think. But Friday morning, Ferragamo, Gucci exhibits, and then you can have lunch. There is actually a location to lunch in one of those exhibits, but we'll get to that as well. And then Friday evening, we have an incredible jazz concert and wine tasting at the most magnificent, elevated, sophisticated dining experience that this will be memorable. This will be memorable. But again, we're going to do a live vocal jazz concert. You can get dinner there. Yes, it's going to be wonderful. Trust me. Special vocal jazz artist that will be joining us that evening. So you'll want to be in the house. The ambiance, the artist, the artistry are going to be popping that night, and you don't want to miss it. And then we move into Saturday. Sabato is Saturday. Saturday morning and afternoon are going to be reserved for shopping, shopping, shopping. We're going to do either the Barberino outlets or the Mall of Florence outlets. There are two of them that are one is within like a half an hour of the outskirts of Florence, and then the other one is about 45 minutes. One is more high-end luxury, one is more mid-range brands. So we're trying to decide which you all might prefer. If you have a preference, please feel free to chime in the comments below, but it will be one of those outlets for the morning, afternoon excursions. But it's all about shopping on that particular Saturday, right? And then the evening, we have a dinner, an aperitivo dinner planned for you all with 360 panoramic views of Ponte Vecchio, overseeing like the Arno River. And you're going to get a walking tour of the river, so you will understand the importance, the significance of the Arno River, and being able to just look out onto this majestic site while having an aperitivo. Again, 360 views of actually all of Florence. Yes, you'll have time to go back to your room and change and freshen up and everything before the evening dinner. And you can just frolic and, dinner and drink into the Florentine night. And then we have Domenica. Domenica is Sunday the 15th. That morning, we are doing a walking tour of Florence, which will include historic sites like Piazza della Signoria, Ponte Vecchio, again, the Arno River, Piazza San Lorenzo Leather Market. There is also another leather market within like a 5-10 minute walk of the San Lorenzo Leather Market, so that you can get all of your last minute goods and trinkets and gifts for family and friends before our final dinner that evening. Oh my God. When you see the location of the final dinner, you're just going to be fit to be tied. You will be fit to be tied when you see the location of the final dinner. It's going to be a wonderful tour experience. This location rivals anything that you would see in some of the, like the Ritz-Carlton. I don't want to give too much away, but when I tell you that you've not had a dining experience like this before for our final bid you adieu, our final departure, our arrivederci dinner, trust me, this will be a memorable dinner. All of the dinners are going to be memorable. Trust me. But we have a jam-packed schedule for you. We really do. Again, the link to the informational itinerary as well as the terms and conditions are in the description below. I will place the link on the screen here as well as the QR code. You can scan the QR code and the QR code will take you directly to my website where the existing itinerary and the terms and conditions as well as pricing and everything are listed. But it's going to be fantastic. I'm going to have one of these informational sessions about every other week starting now, but I'm going to just be sending information to you all as it comes in, or that I think you should know, but we'll get more into the Italian language, things that I think you should know in terms of how to speak Italian and conversational Italian 101, as well as, other things, cultural norms that you need to be prepared for, like kissing and things like that, personal space, how the Italians move, what their mannerisms are, what their behaviors are, so that you don't get offended when something is done that you might not understand, because again, you're in someone else's country, so you need to adhere to customs and traditional norms. Pricing. We'll talk about pricing more as we get closer to the deposit deadline, which you want to pay attention to the deposit deadline, which is October 1st. You must have your deposits in by October 1st to have a confirmed reservation and place in the tour. Really important. There are only a max. We're trying to keep it at 24, but we are prepared to go to 30 based on interest. Now, there's been tons of interest, but I haven't had anyone submit their deposits yet. So it's only been technically open for about a week now. So you have some time, but just know, pay attention to the fact that your deposits must be in by October 1st. You can also make your deposit when you scan the QR code, as well as at the link in the description. You'll see all of the informational pricing there as well. Everything that I'm reading from you'll have access to once you scan that QR code or you click on the link in the description of my bio here. Also on the itinerary that I think are of note is how you should dress for each day. So there is an indication under each day of what the dress code will be for the day. Again, tentative times for each excursion and event. If you are indeed responsible for your lunch and or dinner, when those times will be, primarily you are to cover your lunch and your dinners, but there are quite a few dinners and one lunch in particular that we are covering for you. Again, the word that I keep coming to is singular. This is and will be a singular experience if you know what I know. If you have been exposed to the Italian culture and history like I have been for the past 20 plus years, you have an idea of what you're in for. We're also going to start scouting areas in the south as well. So everything south of Rome. But for now, we're going to keep it in the north and really plan some outstanding excursions and events via this tour. Sorelle, sisters, suits, and souls. So thank you so very much for joining me on this travel edition of Suits Souls by EPP. And just so that you are notified every time I upload a new video, please make sure that you hit that like and subscribe button for notifications on all new episodes. And don't forget to head on over to Instagram and follow me there at Suits Souls by EPP. But until we meet again, a bientôt, Muses. Bye. Or should I say in Italian, a più tardi, Muses. Bye. And that means I'll see you later. A più tardi. Ciao.